Housing Development Progress, number one and the best. Housing Development Progress, number one. Number one. Housing Development Progress, number one and the best. Housing Development Progress, number one. Housing Development Progress in Nigeria. Housing Development Progress in Africa. Housing Development Program and the globe. Number one, Housing Development Program.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Housing Development, your trusted weekly update on Nigeria's housing and construction industry. My name is Chris Jacobs. Today, I will bring to you the biggest headlines, voices of Nigerians, expert insight, and special community feature. This week, we focus on the trending news in the sector. Nigerians react to high incessant increase in house rent. We'll also get the views of some experts on the use of alternative building materials to boost housing development. Now, let's begin with trending stories.
The Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Architect Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, has called on state governments, housing institutions, development finance institutions, and other stakeholders to support the National Home Ownership and Housing Development Campaign aimed at boosting housing delivery at the subnational level. Dangiwa made the call while addressing the 14th meeting of the National Council on Lands, Housing and Urban Development held in Ilorin, Kwara State. The campaign, which will kick off in Katsina State on March 4th to 5th, 2026, is designed to align federal housing reforms and financing with state-level implementation. The minister said the initiative reflects the ministry's commitment to a coordinated housing delivery system, urging governors, developers, financiers, and professionals to actively participate. The campaign, organized by Know This Nigeria Network in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Housing and Urban Development, features regional executive sessions and public home ownership seminars to strengthen collaboration among federal and state institutions. Stakeholders in Nigeria's construction sector have been urged to strengthen support for artisans by equipping them with modern tools, exposing them to skills that align with current global best practices as part of efforts to bridge the skills gap in housing delivery. Speaking ahead of the Construction Artisan Award event, Director General C-Stemp Anthony Okwa emphasized the need to link artisan skills to jobs by involving exhibitors, service providers, employment agencies, and ministries like Housing and Labor.
Well, the Construction Artisans Awards actually started in 2019 as a vehicle for encouraging artisans and would-be artisans to see how important they are to showcase their skills, to project and to encourage people to get into the certification framework that has been established as a means of establishing their skills, letting people know what they can do. And over the years, I think we've been very successful doing that, and that's why there's been a growing demand. Now, we align it with a Skills Expo because other sectors want to be part of what we are doing. But the focus of the awards until this year has been on construction artisans, where they prove physically their skills. And from there, zonal champions will emerge that will join us at the old parade ground in Abuja between the 23rd and 25th of February, where the final competition will take place to pick the best plumbers, the best electricians, the best carpenters, and so on in the construction industry in Nigeria.
Nigeria highlighted its housing reform strategy at the 2026 Real Estate Future Forum, with Minister Ahmed Musa Dangiwa emphasizing the government's role in addressing the housing deficit for low-income citizens. He outlined the Renewed Hope housing program, which targets high, middle and low-income groups, including free units for vulnerable populations like internally displaced persons. The minister stressed partnerships with the private sector to reduce risks through infrastructure and land readiness and collaboration with IFC Edge to deliver energy-efficient, affordable homes. Minister Dangiwa invited investors to partner in scaling up housing delivery, citing ongoing projects in Abuja, Kano, and Lagos. To read the full details of the news, visit www.africahousingnews.com.
These and more stories continue to redefine Nigeria's housing landscape. Now let's move to a topic affecting almost every tenant. Indeed, tenants across Nigeria have continued to lament incessant increase of house rent by landlords, even without giving due consideration of how hard and biting the economy is. So we took to the street of Abuja to sample the opinions of the people, and these are their reactions.
Pay for now is 800,000. Actually do, because going through my profession, you understand that I know the importance of land and how valuable it is. So I'm just trying to see if I can work towards it and achieve it. But then you should understand that there are a lot of constraints, the economy and all whatnot. So I'll try my best.
Oh, currently I won't say it as Abuja, I stay at Nasara, which is Karo. Currently I pay my rent at Karo, because last year it was 400,000, but this year our landlord increased the rent to 750, including service charge, that's dustbin and other things like water amenities and all of that stuff. So now it's 750, which by June I'll be paying 750 at Karo. Actually, it just came out of his shock because we were at home and he called for like an emergency meeting, and he said, because according to him, he said, according to the Landlord Associations of Nigeria, that he has a particular group that he said the rents in Abuja or all over Nigeria is going to be increasing, something that the government said, something like that. So he has to increase his rent, and housing is the issue right now.
You see that my rent, me and my landlord, we still get matter for that one. If not that one, I beg. I even take a beg you. May no even ask me for that one, because I don't know how I go take answer you. Because me and him we get matter. Serious, not be small issue, but he know if he enter the place. But me I dey give him. If I say he don't get small issue, I go give him small to say landlord I beg manage this one, because he increased the money from 250 to 1 million naira. So I want to pay the money. I take God beg you, man, help us. Tell them. You see all those landlords. Before I come down for inside motor, because I dey go this headquarter for here, they talk the thing for inside radio. Now I dey hear them for inside radio say all those baggy, they do meeting, say now this Abuja wey the capital of Nigeria, now he get the most biggest land, in own pass London, which is UK. So they don't buy am for their hand. I don't know how the thing come. They suffer us for here for Abuja. I beg. Make government take control, but make they no use them, wound them again. For Abuja, if na 1 naira, I dey carry go my village o. Say I wan build that for Abuja. I see that they talk say Abuja land, government don't buy am. So the money is still dey continue. Not be say that I think if you build house for Kini, like for that my Ido, where I tell you say what do they call them? Navy, they put their signboard. If you enter that Ido Seriki, you go see the signboard. Now 3 signboards. One, is there for the main junction. Second one, is there for the middle of the town. The third one, is there for the Seriki house. So they say, pack your things and leave. So what's the meaning of that? So you don't build us, I'll be buy land. So okay, carry your thing, they go now. Say now for there I go say I want go build us. Where I want see land? Who be me? I say I will go buy land for this Abuja here.
Yeah, the rent is actually, not only the rent actually, the tariffs, even the taxes and all, it's too much. And now I have to pay rent over what I don't even actually get. So you have to do one or two and all to get what you have to eat, pay rent, pay taxes, and now they're even removing money from our banks. Yeah, so actually it's frustrating. Yeah, we don't really know what they want us to do. So my plan is, I'm planning to get my own, though it's not yet time, actually, but I'm trying to relocate actually to find something cheaper because actually it's too much.
The problem is landlords don't give notices as it's supposed to be. One thing is they don't get into tenancy agreements. So, but when they want to increase, they just throw it at them and not timeously. So at the end of the day, they happen to have issue with the tenants, and the highest thing is for them now to start saying that, okay, you can pack out of the house if you can't pay. But it is according to the Nigerian law that you're supposed to give them prompt notice. If you are going to increase something, and the way they used to increase it is alarming. It's alarming. So if you're going to increase the house rent of your tenants, by law you are supposed to give them ample time before a notification that is a good time. Let's say 6-month notice. If you want to increase, a 6-month notice is not small.
I stay in Lugbe, Airport Road. Before now, I pay 750, but now I pay 950. Just a 1-bedroom flat. Like my landlord, in our case, he just wrote a letter to us officially that there will be an increment of house rent due to cost of materials in the market. The irony of the whole thing is that there were no form of renovation or any kind of taking care of the house or something. So I don't just know. Then the second reason was the economy was not is getting tougher. Things are getting more expensive, and if you feel that way, then what about your tenant? I think we feel harder. We feel the pain more than the landlord. But however, God is helping us. We'll keep moving. It is possible. Yes, when you plan yourself and based on what you do, your income, you discipline yourself, everything is achievable. While we think on how to be able to meet up with the new increase in house rent, we equally see how to plan ourselves to be able to get a land and have our own house, because it's not easy. We spend most of our money on rentage, so it has not been easy.
Those are true stories Nigerians are faced with on a daily basis. The challenges are enormous. The government needs to come up with a strong housing law that will serve as a win-win for both the tenant and the landlord. Now, we'll take a break. When we return, we will have the views of some experts who will feature a report on the use of alternative building materials. Join us again. Welcome back. You're watching Housing Development. According to the United Nations Center for Human Settlement, UNCHS, it classifies alternative building materials as traditional materials or materials that are not modern or conventional in nature. Now, due to the high cost of building materials, the views of these experts have highlighted the need for the use of alternative building materials. Take a look.
According to the United Nations Center for Human Settlement, it classifies alternative building materials as traditional materials or materials that are not modern or conventional in nature. Experts also attribute the basics of alternative building materials to include recycled content, low embodied energy, natural materials, energy efficiency, non-toxic or less toxic content. With a housing deficit of over 17 million, access to affordable housing has largely stayed a pipe dream for the vast majority of Nigerians, particularly the middle and lower classes, which takes about 80% of the populace. For many, exploring alternative building materials and encouraging local manufacturing of these materials in Nigeria may be the way to go, so as to ease the task of importing and high foreign exchange. Highlighting the factors militating the use of alternative building materials, Dr. Chi Akpoji, board chairperson of Shelter Afrique, says it is time for Nigeria and Africa at large to embrace available options for alternative building materials, adding that it is the future for housing construction in Africa.
Alternative building options available could also mean going back to what our ancestors used, traditional building materials, which in the olden days there was no issues with housing because people built houses using mud. And I know in some economies on Africa, they've actually reverted back to using mud to build, energy efficient homes. To round it up, I will say the deployment of alternative building technologies is possibly the future of housing construction.
Also speaking, Odunayo Ojo, CEO, UPDC PLC, says alternative building materials will help cut costs and encourage the use of local building materials.
There's a lot of advancement now that's going on in terms of technology. There's a lot of research that's going into the adaptation of local building materials, like traditional building materials, adobe blocks, bricks that we have in abundance in this country. We have a lot of stone, we have a lot of limestone that is quarried here in Nigeria that we can use for construction. We're also seeing a lot of technology in terms of modular housing systems where you can build houses faster by inputting some technology processes in the manufacture of houses. So all those things will cut the cost and make sure that the readily available materials we have in the country is what we are using to build.
CEO TAF Africa Global, Mustafa Nje, in his remark, says there is need to adopt the various options available so as to ensure sustainable development.
Well, alternative it depends on different stages. For example, building the structure. There are different models that is coming around now in the world, I can say, where people are avoiding using sand and cement because traditionally, brick and mortar, sand and cement is what is known. But some people are coming with initiatives using laterite dust, compacted bricks. Some are even coming with lighter material like polystyrene and then having it plastered. There are so many alternatives that are coming out, and it is coming out because it is an absolute need for this. Some of the things that we're using now is going to be exhausted. I mean, just imagine sand. You're going to run out of sand at one time. So there is a need to think about alternative building materials for sustainable development.
For the purpose of reducing costs, addressing environmental issues, or dealing with lack of conventional materials, it is time for us to embrace available options for alternative building materials in Nigeria so as to ensure that housing demand meets supply.
Those were the views on the need of using alternative materials for housing development. Now, every week we shine our spotlight on communities striving for a better living condition. And today, we take a trip to Waru Wazobia, a suburb in Abuja.
Waru Wazobia. It is a 12-kilometer drive from the city. As we drove into the community to find out the living condition of the people, we were faced with a challenge. Access road was a threat to safety. Waru Wazobia is a densely populated area, yet people keep thriving to find shelter, perhaps owing to the imminent gap in housing deficit. We paid a visit to the palace of the community head.
I am glad that you came to find out living condition of the people. We certainly need help in this community. Whenever it rains, everywhere seems to be flooded. We also need a security outpost in this community. We don't have potable drinking water, and we need a borehole. We have a critical challenge of health facility. We often ride on bike, traveling a long distance before we can access health and care services.
In a dramatic twist, we were introduced to the first person to settle in Waru community. He was also the one who named the community Waru Wazobia, which could be translated to "Come, O ye tribes."
I am the first settler here. I came in 14 years ago during the administration of former President Goodluck Jonathan. Today, all the residents in this community are business-like-minded people. We are living harmoniously between both major religions of Christianity and Islam. Waru community is free from drug peddlers. The only challenge we have here is electricity and lack of potable drinking water.
As we went further to sample the opinions of the people, all that we got was lamentations over lack of government presence.
My brother, is unbearable. Go to any village, any place in Abuja, I have not seen the way people are suffering like this. In terms of electricity, health, and road. We have a healthcare center. Most times they're always on strike. You cannot go there and get a good health services.
It's light and water. We buy from the borehole. Sometimes we are using wells.
The challenge that we have in their education factors. Okay. Because they don't have access here. By the time you sponsor your children, you register them for JLS, with hope that until you register them for SS, before you know, they will tell you that they have finished JSS. You have to go and start afresh somewhere else. As I'm talking to you now, my children, almost 3 of them are at home, because I cannot be able to afford to sponsor 3 of them in outside Waru, that I will be paying transport 400 or 500 every day for 3 of them to go to school. So that is the challenges I'm facing for now.
No potable drinking water, no electricity, healthcare service delivery very poor. Waru has just one public government school and is a junior secondary school, which only have pupils from JS1, 2 and 3. And the community is looking forward to having a senior session for their words.
Now, as community continue to lament poor government presence, there is a need for urgent intervention by the government of the day.
Are you getting ready for another big one? The largest housing show in Africa. 2 decades of relentless exhibition and conference. The 20th edition of the Africa International Housing Show, happening from the 13th to 18th of July 2026 at the prestigious Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. This premier event is Africa's largest housing and construction expo, attracting over 50,000 attendees in Africa and beyond, thereby giving room for developers, construction giants, financiers, home interiors, mortgage and microfinance banks, drawing from about 21 different countries of the world. Get ready to be part of history.
The African International Housing Show, Africa's largest and most influential housing and construction event, has announced a rich lineup of high-impact programs to celebrate its 20th anniversary in the month of July 2026 at the prestigious Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja.
My name is Architect B.S. Haiba. I'm a fellow of Nigeria Institute of Architects and a former managing director of Abuja Properties. I come to happily visit this African housing show arranged by Honorable Chief Festus Adebayo, whom I know for the last 20 years. I'm very happy and very pleased to be associated with the airport Festus Adebayo, PESADAP. I know the name of the company. And what he has been doing to housing, not only in Nigeria, to Africa, I think he deserves a national honor. Because the kind of crowd that is bringing, the kind of people that is bringing from all over Africa under the name of housing, promoting housing, is actually marketing Nigeria. He deserves a national honor. Not only that, manufacturers, estate developers, producers of all various kinds of building materials, products and services he is prepared, he is providing a very, very critical and very important aspect that the industry requires by exposing what it has to the entire market, bringing in the buyer, the producer, the policy maker, and under one umbrella, so that they interact. They see the strength and the weaknesses of one another. And let us hope Gabon will have some kind of support for this kind of initiative, so that we will have more and more of Festus Adebayo in agricultural sector, in production sector, in industry sector, in education sector, and whatever. People who are warehousing, bringing in the producer, the consumer, the policy maker, the researcher, and everybody in any industry, bring them under umbrella through private sector initiative, using their own resources and own funds, so that they discuss their challenges, their shortcomings, and the way forward. This can help Nigeria and Africa as a whole. Finally, I have one advice. I will want to see institutions like PRODA, research institutions, universities, researchers coming to trade fairs and shows and exhibitions like this. Because the products that you have can be there in your library, in your laboratories, stored away. You need to bring them to where it is exposed. Products like this, that research institutes under Federal Ministry of Science and Technology, Raw Materials Research Development Council, universities and what have you, should come to shows, to trade fairs. Let them team up with PESADAP, Dr. Festus Adebayo and his likes, so that we can forge ahead and move the country forward.
As you can see, there was a lot of enthusiasm on the part of participants. We had long sessions and people were willing to sit there right from morning up till this hour. The hall is full, which tells you that individuals are very happy about the alternative housing solutions that we have on offer.
Indeed, it has been an interesting episode, from trending stories to expert views and our community spotlight. Thank you for watching Housing Development. Join us again next week as we come with a fresh edition of the program. My name is Chris Jacobs. God bless Nigeria.